Hey, you guys. Wow, I really didn't want to do this. I haven't said anything about it and why I am have distanced myself from WeHo Social Justice Coalition because I didn't want to taint anyone's perspective of that coalition, and so I've pretty much remained silent about it. But in the light of Jordan posting his thread, basically smearing and bashing this campaign to separate from DSA, I thought that it's only fair if I add some context to what's actually going on. So everybody know that I used to be with We Host Social Justice Coalition, right? A group, for the most part, of beautiful people, honestly, if I'm just being honest, right? But due to some, without going into specifics, due to some extreme financial personal hardships, some members thought that it may or may not be a good idea to get in bed with DSA by way of accepting an offer of Streetwatch to open up a West Hollywood chapter. And it was placed on the ballot, not the ballot, the the agenda to talk about it and get consensus, right? Jordan placed it on the agenda, and I was absolutely livid, if I'm being honest, because I'm trying to figure out in my head, how are we even having the discussion about getting in bed with the white supremacist cult, right? He was saying that they had made this offer and they were going to let him open up a chapter of Streetwatch in West Hollywood, and they're going to financially support it, and blah, 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 blah. And, he was basically telling us the terms of the conditions by which they were interested in getting in bed with us. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a white supremacist cult that are oppressing and abusing people in another capacity of color. And we're sitting having a discussion about whether or not we are going to get in bed with them. No, we're not. That's not what I'm doing. And he said I blocked. And that's not the way consensus works. I blocked, right? Because it was opened up for discussion, like in an open forum. It wasn't like he was asking for consensus or anything like that. And so what I did was I immediately said no. I immediately said I'm not getting in bed with a white supremacist, org, and that where my value stands, I'm just not going to be able to do it. So if you guys want to do it, that's cool. But me personally, speaking for Miss Italy, I'm not going to be able to do it. Just not going to be able to do it. And to other people that are, getting in the movement and getting out there and helping people, it might come a point in time where you have to really make the decision and find out if the people that you are organizing with share the same value system as you. Because if they don't share your same core values, then when times get rough for them, they will just sell you out. And next thing you know, you're at an event doing some sort of an action with some people, or some sort of mutual aid with some people, and it's sponsored by a white supremacist cult. You have a moral obligation to make sure that if you are collaborating with someone and they put on some sort of an event in a certain part of town, that the people that they're putting on the event with are not contracting people like the bid, or contracting people that will displace unhoused people, will subject anyone to any turmoil or dis-ease or discomfort or trauma. You have a moral obligation to do so, because if you're out there saving one life and then you out there abusing or helping to kill another life, then where's the progress in this movement? Where's the progress in this movement? There is no progress. And I left WeHo Social Justice Coalition because I'm not going to be sitting down and having a conversation at all about whether or not I should get in bed with DSA. I'm not doing it. I'm absolutely not doing it. So if that's called jumping the gun, if that's called blocking, then for sure, my nigga, I'll be that. For sure. Every time I'm a block. Because I don't even want to have a conversation about being in the bed with the white supremacist cult at all. And I was offended that so many people was willing to even sit there and listen to that. And I was going to leave immediately when the conversation was brought up. And I said, no, I'm going to state my piece because this is probably the last time I'm going to deal with these people. So let me just go on and tell them now that I'm not going to be able to do it. And Jordan was absolutely livid. Tried to tie it into trauma and the impact that I caused for leaving. Tried to talk to me for like 3 or 4 hours in my car explaining why I should come back. And it was all said and done. I said, listen, you can talk to you blue in the face. I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. And he has been absolutely livid ever since. And when I messaged him yesterday about the thread that he put out, his response was like, I've been trying to talk to you. You won't talk to me. And I'm like, I got one text from you on August the 14th. Sue me for having 6 days of school and missing one fucking text. And the whole time, I guess he feels like that one text, I didn't respond, and he's just been livid about it. He's just been absolutely livid about it. And I left We Hold Social Justice Coalition because I'm not going to be sitting down having a conversation with you about whether or not I should get in bed with a white supremacist cult that's causing harms in other spaces. I'm just not going to do it. Some conversations I can afford to have. Some conversations I'm too busy in school to even sit down and have a discussion about. I'm sorry. And then one moment it was he would call me and be like, oh my God, I hate white people. And I'd be like, what? All white people? All white people. I feel like everybody should just hit the Cash App and pay reparations. If you white, I'm sorry, I cannot trust you. You should just hit the Cash App. Everyone in a coalition should hit the Cash App. I'm sorry, fuck it. They gotta hit the Cash App. And it's always about, money, 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 money. So it was, Jordan's intention to find a way to quote unquote create an income, some sort of revenue stream, not for the movement, but for himself. He wanted to create an income from We Hold Social Justice Coalition for quote unquote all his hard work that he's done, right? And hey, if that's your bag, that's your bag, my nigga. If that's how you feel. I don't feel like joining a nonprofit, starting a nonprofit. I have a business that I am trying to get my 501c3 for, but trust and believe it's in no way, shape, form, or fashion set up for profit or personal gain. Just because I don't look, if you end up with a nonprofit and there's actually a pay slide and you get it, then so good, but so be it. But opening up and incorporating or getting in bed with people with a specific intent in mind to get a personal financial gain, I have a problem with that. I also have a problem with you being so principled and you not being willing to do so many things on one hand, and you calling people out and saying they're in bed with Nika, and they're in bed with this, they're in bed with that, they're in bed with capitalists, but then you in the same tone is trying to put me in bed with a white supremacist cult. I got a problem with that. I have an extreme fucking problem with that. There was also like one day We Hold Social Justice is stopping for political theory and political education because nobody's as politically advanced as Jordan, right? And he was always frustrated because he felt like we needed to learn political theory so we can understand what our values and principles are. And so I was like, okay, cool, my nigga, I'm going to learn. But in my head, I was thinking, I'm going to learn so I can learn what didn't work. Because if we being honest, you guys, most of the political theory and most of the political education that people always trying to shove down your throat, most of it has failed us. Okay, I'll be the first bitch to say it. Most of it has failed us. So maybe we need some young, fresh ideas. Maybe we need some new stuff that we ain't tried yet. Why is everyone that has these self-made PhDs in political theory trying to force that shit down everybody's throat when there ain't no historical record of the fact that this shit is working. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. And for the most part, if I study political theory, it's so that I can see what my ancestors have tried, so I can gain information from what they've tried and take what they've tried and expand on it. But I'm not trying to hear your political theories. I'm not trying to get you to superimpose your principles and your mindset on me and what I'm trying to do. Because at the end of the day, I want to liberate the people. So, becoming so extra politically savvy, that's not even in my bag. That's not even my bag. While we're online fighting about separating from these white supremacist code, and when we over here fighting about black organizations being blind spots to white supremacy, the youth is out there fighting for the real fucking concern, this planet. Because at the bottom line is that if we don't address what we doing to this planet, none of this shit ain't gonna matter no way. So I just need to align what it is that Miss Italy is doing. I need to stay focused in school and do some stuff so that I can be of support in the movement and go get my education up so that I can be some support to myself and my family and my friends financially. And the way I've chosen to do it is to go to school for cybersecurity, And I'm just, absolutely tired of 1 minute I get a call from Jordan and all the white people, he hates them, and everyone in the coalition and out the coalition, every white person on this planet should be hitting the Cash App. Then 1 minute he tells me about this org that I really actually like called 400+1, and he's reading to me what their onboarding is, and he's like, we need onboarding like this. Look at this. They make all the white people support by hitting the Cash App, and they don't even let them in. You got to hit the Cash App if you really support. Hit the Cash App, right? So 1 minute, he wants us to pause for political education and not do any more actions and not be out there. The next minute, he's on another. He wants us to do this next action. The next minute, we're about to close. Then when we go to the meeting, it's, we're going to change it into a community-loving space. Then the next minute, he is very principled and, refuses to get in bed with capitalists and, refuses to get in bed with Nika or anybody else and all this stuff, has all this stuff to say about all these other orgs. And then in the very same breath, wants to have a discussion about whether or not we should be in bed with DSA LA indirectly through Streetwatch. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. I am going through a lot. I am a black trans woman of color, living, as you guys can see, in a motel. So I am technically, as we speak, unhoused. I am on general relief. I'm just saying. I'm on general relief. I'm at $221 a month, right? And, that's why when people be sending me like a mutual aid or something like that, it like touches my soul because if I'm being honest, my nigga, a bitch need it bad, I ain't gonna ask, but it has touched me when people have put out mutual aid requests for me. Even Jordan has done one, right? But even still, even being on GR, even being a recovering addict, so that means that sometimes I may have a yearning for crystal meth. I may have a yearning to go get drunk and then hit the pookie pipe and smoke crystal meth. Even with the need to, just basic essentials like, toiletries and basic stuff, who can live on $221 a month? Nobody, right? But me and Honey, we doing it. We thugging it out. By hook or by crook, we thugging it out. You know what I'm saying? And even still, being on GR, and technically speaking, I need to be candid. I was in a pilot program in Skid Row, and they pay a portion of your rent. They pay all your rent if it's under $500, right? But the flip to that is that they take $104 out of your GR. So technically, I'm not even making $121. I'm making $100 and something per month on GR until they switch me off of that pilot program. Probably on the first, I'll probably get the full 221. But still, what is that? And even still with that, I'm still not finna sell my soul. I'm still not finna suggest to my people. I'm still not even finna have a conversation with my people about being in bed with a white supremacist cult. And that's another form of being a black blind spot to white supremacy. And I just absolutely won't do it, you guys. And we may have to make the decision at times that maybe the people that we think are our friends, maybe their situation and circumstances are so dire that maybe they need to do something else, so that what they're doing is not leading you off your focus of what your core values are, you know? And so, I just needed to share that. Just wanted to get that out there because I think that people need to understand that the way in which Jordan is trying to smear the whole separate from DSA, separate from white supremacist code, address how white supremacy shows up in these spaces, and separate the conversation from being a black conversation, which is absolutely asinine, and understand that the core meat and potato of the conversation is white supremacy, and it should be an open conversation. The campaign that we have, that I've become a part of, has been smeared by Jordan. And I just needed people to understand that it's really coming from a place of anger and revenge. It has absolutely nothing with Jordan's belief systems about DSA or Streetwatch or any of that, because just 2 weeks ago, he was trying to put me in bed with them and trying to it was Jordan of We Hold Social Justice that placed it on the agenda for us to talk about being in bed with DSA. When I saw that, that was enough for me. When I saw that, it was, in my mind, equivalent to how I break stuff down to the lowest common fucking denominator, right? No matter what you're saying, the bullshit you pushing, I break it all the way down to the lowest common denominator. And when you say you are contemplating being in bed with DSA, who are going to give you this money to open up a branch of Streetwatch, how I translate that is you trying to put me in bed with KKK. I know I'm extreme, but that's kind of bitch I am, and that's how it translates in my mind. And so in my head, I'm thinking, what? Am I living under a rock? Why the fuck are these people sitting in the same room wanting to even talk to this motherfucker about this shit? I'm not doing it. So if I jump the gun, then so be it. And then after that, I got this message in the Signal that had this video about consensus. And, you know, Jordan, of course, almighty Jordan, everyone should take a pause and learn or whatever, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a pause. I hang up with Jordan. I'm gonna watch the video. So I watched the video and I take fucking notes, because when I learn something, I'm gonna fucking learn, right? So I watch the video and I take notes. And in the video, it says there's this thing in the process of consensus called blocking, right? I mean, where it's called stand aside, where you basically allow them to do what they're going to do, but you allow it under duress, right? You basically say, hey, go ahead and do it, but I like to just openly state that I'm against this, right? And that's basically what I did, because I told them, hey, if y'all do that, cool, that's on y'all. But speaking for Miss Italy, I can only speak for Miss Italy. Speaking for Miss Italy, I'm not going to be able to do that. And that was wrong. Jordan said, when I talked to Jordan, he was like, I'm just speaking for the group, and I'm telling you what the group is saying. The group feels like betrayed, and that they're really mad at you. And I'm like, how could a group of people be mad at me because my value system doesn't align with what the leader of the group is trying to push down our throats? I can't do it. So when I was watching this consensus video, I'm taking these notes and I'm realizing that, I actually did what is in the video. I stood aside, right? And then it also just talks about the basis of consensus and how it first should be led with respect. How is it respect for you to sit down and talk to me about being in bed with the KKK? And then it talks about the actual structure of the conversation and how the conversation should go, right? And the bottom line is that we were not even employing a consensus model while having this discussion. It was opened up as a general discussion, and then Jordan got mad because, I guess according to Jordan and the rest of the group got mad, with the exception of one person that I speak to and absolutely adore. I love the rest of them too, right? But this one person has reached out to me and expressed that they love me and they're not mad and they understand and they know I have to do what I have to do. But you don't get to hold me to the cross and reprimand me and basically, in my opinion, transfer your past trauma on me. I think that's really what the bottom line is with his aggression, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, you don't get to nail me to a cross, right? About not employing a system that you're not even employing in its full capacity or in its entirety. No, you don't get to do that. If you're having consensus, if you're on the phone, if you're on a Zoom call and you're calling for consensus right now on this issue, and I say, no, I block, maybe you may have something to say. But you don't get to open up a general discussion and then get mad because I have an opposing view or opinion, and then all of a sudden tie it to consensus when we wasn't even in consensus or employing the consensus model. So I made these notes as I watched this video, and I sent it back in the WeHo Social Justice signal and said that I watched the video and I took the notes, and according to the video, this, that, and the third, and according to the video, we weren't even employing the consensus model in its entirety anyway, so you don't get to hold me to a cross about violating the consensus model. And perhaps maybe the people in this group should watch the video and take some notes as well. I'm going to be leaving this group, basically sayonara, right? And why did I do that? Because all fucking hell broke loose. Jordan tried to talk to me about it. He tried to call me. I said, listen, I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm still processing. And then I invited him to a Black Lives Matter monthly meeting. And I can sense in the car, he was like, yeah, bitch, I got you now. We're going to talk about this. So he didn't say anything about it all the way there. And this is all the way out in Crenshaw. And I'm all the way in Hollywood and all this, right? So it's a long fucking ride, right? And so I get there. He says nothing. We go to the meeting. We go to the meeting and we get out the meeting, and then we get out the meeting. And literally before I even get anywhere near a freeway or anything like that, I'm sorry, we didn't take a freeway. But literally, like, I would say like 5-10 minutes into the car, he's like, okay, girl, we got to talk. Like, forcing me to have a conversation, right? When I've already said, I don't want to talk about it, I'll let you know when I want to talk about it, right? Okay, girl, we got to talk. And I thought, oh, God, here we go. And I just said, okay. So he talked all the way back to Hollywood, and we took the fucking street. So you know how long that took, right? From like 50th or 60th and Crenshaw to all the way out to Hollywood and West Hollywood on the streets. He talked the whole way home, and all the way to his door. I literally sat at the end of his street and sat an additional about an hour and a half to 2 hours listening to him explain the way of why I blocked, and I should feel remorse, and I should feel bad because of the trauma and impact that I caused, and why I should come back to WeHo Social Justice. And you know what I did? And what all the people organizing should do, that are of the LGBT, not just of the LGBTIQIA queer community, but anyone in general. My mother said, when you don't know whose side to pick, you stand for what's right. And whenever he was done talking, I let him talk all that time. I went back and forth. When he let me talk, we talked back and forth about it. And then we got to his house. We talked about another hour and a half, 2 hours. And I said, listen, Jordan, I got to get to class in the morning. So I gotta you know, interject here and say that I gotta get to class. And I also gotta tell you, boo, that no matter what you say, I'm not coming back. And he said, all right, girl, Godspeed. Got out my door and slammed my door. And I knew in that moment, Jordan is about to try to make me a target. And I would just ask everyone in the organizing community that is watching this whole fiasco of DSA separating from Streetwatch and this whole LA Can thing, to get some facts about the situations that you're listening to, the threads that you're listening to. Even fact check my stuff. You know, my daddy say, fuck what you heard, here, fuck what you heard, see it for yourself, right? So, fact check what I'm saying, and I got receipts, I got text messages, I got screenshots. If anyone wants to go there, Jordan, we can. I keep excellent receipts, so just try me if you want to, right? Just, you know, vet the people that you're dealing with, because you never know what circumstances that may befall them, and whether or not their moral structure may cause them to compromise your integrity by putting you in bed with a white supremacist cult. Who does that? I'm on GR and homeless, my nigga. On GR and homeless with a piece of crap car that I gotta push the light in every 5 minutes to keep it from falling out in the street while I'm driving. Barely hanging on. I mean, barely hanging on. I literally ate, thank God my mother sent me a whole box of oatmeal. It seemed like it was like 200 or 300 in a box. I don't know, she got it from Costco or something. But I was eating that oatmeal thinking for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, eating I put myself on a ration of 2 oatmeals so that I know that this box of oatmeal is going to last me this whole month that I'm in this room. Doing what I got to do to survive. But what I'm not doing to survive is putting my people in bed with a white supremacist cult. So if you're organizing with Jordan, if you're organizing with We Own Social Justice, well, see, We Own Social Justice, they have and this is what I like about them, that most of them have their own value system, right? The members, right? But I don't know, man. I've gotten calls from Jordan that said, fuck it. I don't like that, this person's in bed with Nika, and I don't like this, I don't like that, but fuck it. Maybe that's where the money at. If you can't beat them, join them. Maybe that's what I got to do, bitch. I got to get a coin. And these conversations that I've been listening to have been very fucking alarming coming from a person that has claimed to be so principled. Because I don't care what I'm going through, I'm literally eating packages of oatmeal to survive. And I'd rather eat oatmeal every single day, 3 times a day, than to be in bed with a white supremacist cult, or be in bed with anyone that even suggests that I have that conversation. So there you have it. Be wary of these spaces that organize and claim to be all for you, and all for trans people, or all for LGBTY, you know what I'm saying, people, all for black people. Vet the fuck out their ass. Find out where their money coming from. Find out who they in bed with. Find out if they in bed with someone, what type of events those people are in hosting, and who the vendors are for those events, and if they're displacing unhoused people. Find out if they're people that they're in bed with, where their money is coming from. You have to chase that down the story, because if you become a person that is influential in the movement, then people are going to look at you, and they're going to trust your opinion. And that comes with a great responsibility, because a lot of people are coming in naive, not knowing where to start, and they just know all they have in their mind. They have nothing. They know nothing about political theory. They know nothing about the progress or the progression or the retrogression of the movement. Only thing they know is that this shit is fucked up, and they got to do something, and now. And they just come running. Hi, I'm one of those people. They just come running, guns blazing, swinging and kicking, and with every fiber in their soul ready to fight. And it may be you that have to say, hey sis, or hey bro, or hey friend, maybe you should check out J-Town Action, because they absolutely love and support and hold space for people of color, for people that are disabled, for people that are non-binary, for people that are LGBT, I can never say that, you know what I mean, my community, for people that are disabled, for people that are old, for people that are young. They hold space for education and making sure the gurus are brought in the movement to help make sure that they pass on the knowledge so that we have some basis of which to say, okay, this is what has or has not worked in the past. This is what we need to expand on. This is where we're at, right? They hold space for children. At some point, people may come to you and be like, hey, where can I start? And maybe you may have to tell them that, hey, you know what? BLM, I'm not sure what they was doing in the past. Not sure what their history is. But right now, today, while I'm here right now, today, they're holding space for people of color. They're holding space for white allies to get involved. They're holding space for the trans community. They understand and not only love, but they appreciate the LGBTIQIA, you know what I mean, my community, right? It's one thing to be tolerated in a community, and it's the one thing to be accepted and appreciated. And I personally want to be accepted and appreciated. And I've sent people to these other orgs independent of me, not letting the people know that I'm even sending those people, because I want to know how they're going to treat my people when I'm not around. Because you don't get no point for saving Miss Italy. You don't get no point for, I appreciate it, right? But what I'm trying to say is that who wouldn't save Miss Italy? Because a lot of people know Miss Italy. Who wouldn't save a Dr. Abdullah? Who wouldn't save an Oprah? You know what I'm saying? If given the chance, right? Because people are going to all be like, oh, I helped Italy, I helped Dr. Abdullah, I helped Oprah. People are going to see that, and you're going to get your brownie point or your viral video, whatever, right? But to me, you get the credit or the point when you go save that otherwise insignificant black person that's in a tent that ain't got nothing, nowhere to go. To me, that's when you get the credit. To me, that's when you get the acknowledgement. To me, that's when you get the good karma, right? And it just may come a time where you may be the gatekeeper. You may be the person that leads the next generation of organizers into a safe space. So we just got to do better at making sure that we vet people. In my opinion, LA Can is a clear example of that. They got in bed and they denying it, right? But we got receipts that prove otherwise, right? But they got in bed with a white supremacist coat. And they're suffering from too much toxic masculinity to just, look at it and be like, you know what? Y'all right. We're going to do better. And this is exactly what we plan to do to make this right. And this is exactly what we plan to do to make sure that we don't go down that road no more. And this is what we plan to do over the next such and such years. And this is how we're going to fix this. And we apologize. Suffering from too much masculinity to even, they won't even look in the mirror. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Self-reflect. Self-analyze. Constantly keep a personal inventory to make sure that everything that you did in the course of your day didn't subject anybody else to any trauma. And if you did, because you're human and you're going to make mistakes, then be woman or man enough or non-binary enough to go and apologize. What's wrong with just even if you wrong or right, what's wrong, LA Can? Just say, I'm sorry, man. Are you fucking serious? Are we going through all this stuff? Are you really serious? What you guys don't realize is that it really screams toxic masculinity, because you won't even look in the mirror and you ignored and was willing to sacrifice this black person for all this time so that you can keep your white savior money flowing. Don't be like that. It may come a time when you have to be the person that is bringing in the next generation of organizers, or just holding space for the next generation of the queer community. And you just have a moral obligation to vet them thoroughly. It's just my opinion. And to make sure that who you putting them in bed with is actually genuinely bona fide, certified, and verified as their allies. And if you have to step away from the movement, if you have to stop organizing like I'm about to have to do, and someone comes and asks you who's holding space for us, you can tell them that, I'm sorry, I thought I heard something. You can tell them that J-Town Action is holding space for us. You can tell them that We Learn House is holding space for us. You can tell them that BLM is holding space for us. You can tell them that the people that put on the Whittier Pride, which was the best pride in all the pride, the only pride that didn't have the police. I'm just getting all this out right now, you guys, because I'm going to stop organizing for real and focus on school. I may come out and support a couple times, but for the most part, I must take a full step, hard stop back, because I have to. Because the shit is getting ugly. People willing to sell their soul, and yours too, put you in bed with white coats, and drag you on the internet, and the whole time I'm devoting all this energy to this bullshit. And like right now, my class started at 8. Wait a minute. Oh shit, I gotta go. Bye, you guys. I love you. Bye. Get your shit together.